On the news, Delta State Governor meets President Tinubu over Okama killings. Edo Assembly directs Chief Judge to set up committee on Shaibu's impeachment. And court denies Nnamdi Kanu bail, orders accelerated hearing. Glad to have you join us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori has briefed President Bola Tinubu on the tragic incident that resulted in the killing of 16 soldiers in Okama community, Ugeli South Council area of the state last week. Addressing journalists after the meeting at the State House, the governor assured that the situation is now under control. He expressed determination to bring the perpetrators of the heinous act to justice, adding that the government is committed to ensuring that such attacks do not occur again in the area and innocent civilians will not be made to suffer for actions of criminal elements. While declining to disclose specific casualty figures due to the sensitive nature of the issue, revealed that efforts to engage with the affected community have been hindered as the area is currently deserted.
Mr. President assured me that the peace, as in support of the peace, and we both condemn the killing of the officers and the soldiers, because they are there on peace mission. And what is happening now is something that we did not bargain for. But we want to assure everybody that there will be no more attack on the villages. If there's anyone that has happened in the past, there will be no attack. The place will be deserted. So the issue of whether you've been able to see the community leaders, no. I've not been able to. So we only gotten full briefing from the army, and we're on it because this week the National Council are going to meet and discuss. I'm going to invite stakeholders. We're on top of it. So some of those issues are security issues that you can't say publicly. That's the truth. And we're managing the situation. So the issue of whether a place has been burned down or people have been killed, it has happened. But the way forward, what is the way forward? The way forward are two ways. The people that have been killed, the officers and soldiers, we must see how we can find score for this family and all, and giving a befitting burial. And also the community, anything that has happened in the community in the past will not happen again. We assure them, but the people who are culpable will be brought to book.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate has urged the federal government to take swift action to apprehend the perpetrators responsible for the tragic killing of the 16 military personnel and to ensure that they face justice. The incident, which saw senior army officers and their troops ambushed and slain by armed youths during a peace mission, has prompted deep concerns within the upper legislative chamber. Senators who spoke on the issue said there is need for accountability and condemned the act as provocative, signaling potential danger for innocent residents in the region. Additionally, the Senate called for reinforcement of police presence to mitigate the necessity of military involvement in civil matters.
They were not only killed, but their bodies were also decapitated. The unfortunate incident occurred when the troops responded to a distress call after the communal crisis between the Okama and Okoloba communities, both in Delta State. It recognizes that the tragic incident involving the attack on military personnel from the 181 Amphibious Battalion during a peace mission to Okama community in Delta State underscores the urgent need for justice and accountability without resorting to retribution. Worried that the understaffing of the Nigerian police has made Nigeria's military to take over internal policing duties such as organized crime, oil theft, communal crisis, kidnapping, banditry.
What happened in Delta was not an accident. It was a designed and well-orchestrated effort to kill our military men. And it was done in a very barbaric way, very bestial. Mr. President, those who did that deserve to be condemned.
It's a very sad development. I think the Senate awaits the outcome of the investigations. So I urge the committees on defense, committee on army, committee on navy, and the committee on air force combined to liaise with the military to find out, to obtain for first hand for us the outcome of the investigation on in respect of these dastardly killings.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian police force to aid families of fallen officers by ensuring the regular disbursement of their entitlement. Speaking during the presentation of checks to the families of 727 officers who lost their lives in service, the IGP said the consistent payments are intended to incentivize serving personnel to continually perform at their best. During the event, the Inspector General of Police also assured the families of ongoing support from the force to ensure their well-being and comfort.
It is our fervent hope that the financial support provided through these checks today will offer some measure of relief during these trying times, as we stand with you in remembrance and respect for your loved ones. To the dependents of our other late colleagues who have yet to receive their complete entitlement or be included in our records, I want to provide a steadfast assurance that this administration is fully committed to resolving all pending claims and backlogs that existed before June 2023 when we assumed office. We pledge to continue our efforts without pause until every due benefit has been rightfully disbursed. Once more, I wish to extend my profound commendation to the officers and men of the Force Insurance Section for their relentless commitment and exemplary service. I also want to express my sincere gratitude to all our partner insurance companies. The collaborative spirit and prompt responses have been crucial to the success of today's event. I urge you to maintain this level of performance, ensuring the swift resolution of any remaining claims, as your efforts are vital to the well-being of our forces families.
We can't appreciate you people enough for the check given to us. We pray that God Almighty will reward you people back in Jesus' name.
Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu is inching closer to getting removed from office as the State House of Assembly has now instructed the state's Chief Judge, Justice Daniel Okungbowa, to set up a 7-man panel to investigate impeachment allegations against him. The Assembly accuses Shaibu of misconduct and leaking government information, allegation it says constitutes impeachable offense. Shaibu's supporters argue that he is being targeted because of his interest in succeeding Governor Godwin Obaseki. Meanwhile, the PDP has unveiled Osaro Dion Ogie, the secretary to Edo State government, as the running mate of his governorship candidate, Asue Igadolo. Osaro Dion used to be a close ally of the deputy governor of the state and was at one time a member of the APC in the state. Now, to discuss the politics of Edo State further, earlier on I spoke with legal expert Liberus Oshoma, and I began by asking him what he makes of the resolution of the crisis in the APC, with Dennis Idahosa chosen as the running mate of the APC Guba candidate, Monday Okpebolo.
It was obvious that APC was a largely polarized and divided house, with the primaries that happened, and this is the first step towards reconciliation, bringing the two strong contending parties together to say, shoot your sword, and like what Wike used to call ihendeba, let the bird perch, let the dog perch, and so let them work together. And so these are the two main contending forces, and every other person who was a contestant in that primaries had one way or the other align with either of these two parties. And so reconciling them also means generally reconciling, all other parties. So that's a very strong point for APC. That's a strong, what I would say, move. Unlike the PDP that has still not been able to actually, reconcile all of their, warring parties. You have the deputy governor on one side. My land just secured an order restraining the House of Assembly from impeaching him. And then you have the former Vice Chairman South, Dan Obi, who also is leading the legacy members of the party on one side. And then there were allegations that APC were even going to pick Ogbede Hama, who was once a member of the House of Rep representing Oredo, as a running mate. So that means that all of these people are truly not in one group with the PDP. And PDP, maybe there might be move on the current to reconcile all of them together, but we have not seen it at that level where the national leadership of the party, just like the president had done with the APC, will step in and bring everybody together.
All right, Mr. Liboros, we believe that the PDP too has its own problem, and that's, of course, with the incumbent deputy governor who is currently facing impeachment. Now, what impact do you think the impeachment of Philip Shaibu is likely to have for the PDP in the governorship election? Because is it even a wise move to want to impeach him at this time?
I think they say he who the gods wants to kill, they first make mad. This is the first time in a long while where an election, you see a candidate that's heavily supported by the outgoing governor, not, bold enough to come out to tell people that, yes, I'm going to campaign, on the legacy of the outgoing governor, or that, yes, the outgoing governor is with me, and I believe in his project, I believe in the good works he has done. As bad as Buhari was, President Tinubu still went ahead to say we're going to continue in his legacy. For Edo, because of the baggage of Obaseki, the candidate of the PDP, Aswan Ighodalo, is finding it difficult to even campaign, to even accept or admit that he's with Obaseki or Obaseki is with him, because of this baggage. And Obaseki consistently, every day, is going deep, driving the knife on this, gulf that he has created. Now the latest one is the onslaught against his deputy for daring to want to contest. I think, like the APC had done, it would have been easy if he had, handled the matter amicably and resolved it. Now attempting to impeach the deputy and bringing up somebody else from that region. Even if you bring that person, how many years, how many months is that person going to stay in the office to be able, to grow loyalty like the deputy governor had grown? And then also, what is the guarantee that that person that you're going to bring also will trust you to that extent, seeing what you had done to your deputy? So all of these, and everybody that had supported, Obaseki before now, with all sense of modesty, had one complaint or the other.
And that was Liboros Oshoma giving us a stake on the just so for the governorship seat in Edo State. Now, the gubernatorial poll has since been scheduled for Saturday, September 21st, 2024. But the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has expressed concerns over the low number of political parties submitting their candidates' lists for the election. With less than 6 days remaining until the close of nomination for the off-cycle governorship election, only 6 political parties have complied with the submission process. Addressing political parties at a consultative meeting in Abuja on Tuesday, Yakubu highlighted the urgency of the situation, emphasizing the need for timely compliance with the electoral timetable, especially given the impending deadline.
There will be no extension of time beyond the deadline already published in the timetable and schedule of activities for the election to enable us to publish the personal particulars of candidates, the Form EC9, on 31st March 2024 as provided by law. So far, 16 political parties out of 19 have indicated interest in participating in the election. I urge political parties to adhere strictly to your proposed dates and modes of primaries. Frequent changes, as we witnessed recently during the Edo primaries, are not only disruptive but costly. The Commission cannot mobilize, demobilize, and remobilize our officials for the monitoring of party primaries for the convenience of political parties. Parties should stick to their proposed dates and modes of primaries for certainty and optimal deployment of resources.
In this regard, IPAC will be proactive to ensure that the Edo and Ondo state gubernatorial elections meet the expectations of Nigerians and international community. So there should be no excuse for poor performance. IPAC will constantly engage INEC as usual and major stakeholders to ensure the success of the elections, and will be there for mobilization and voter sensitization of monitoring of the polls as usual. I expect that the Commission will do the needful as we have always done before. Thank you.
Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has denied bail to Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The court, however, has ordered an accelerated hearing of the case involving Kanu, who faces charges related to treasonable felony. Kanu was presented in court on Tuesday, has been in the custody of the Department of State Services DSS since his arrest in June 2021. Justice Nyako wrote that while the court would expedite the hearing, bail would not be granted. Expressing dissatisfaction with the ruling, Kanu's counsel Aloy Ejimako highlighted the challenges faced by the legal team in communicating with their client, citing monitored conversations and Kanu still wearing the same outfit despite court order. During his address to the court, Kanu revealed his health concerns, saying that he suffers from cognitive heart disease and has not received adequate treatment while in DSS custody. He requested to be transferred to Kuje prison or placed under house arrest, both of which were rejected by Justice Nyako. The case has been adjourned to April 17, 2024 for the commencement of the trial pending further development. We're going to break now, but coming up next in the news, Super Eagles arrive camp in Morocco ahead of friendly matches with Ghana and Mali. Details of the story right after this break. Welcome back. Now a quick recap of our headline stories. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori has briefed President Bola Tinubu on the tragic incident that resulted in the killing of 16 soldiers in Okama community, Ugeli South Council area of the state last week. While declining to disclose specific casualties figures due to the sensitive nature of the issue, it said efforts to engage with the affected community have been hindered as the area is currently deserted. We also told you that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has lost his latest quest to regain his freedom as Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has denied him bail. The judge, however, ordered an accelerated hearing of the case. During his address to the court, Kanu revealed his health concerns, saying that he suffers from cognitive heart disease and has not received adequate treatment while in DSS custody. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Let's now join Okpeyemi Owosheni for business news. Okpeye, what's the latest?
Well, Tamilore, Nigeria's equities market decreased further by 62 billion today as more investors moved into the market to take profit after last week's rally pushed stocks aggregate value higher by 2.12 trillion. This is a huge blow on the equities market and is really low from what we've witnessed so far in this year. But then let's take a look at what went down in the world of business before I give you more details about the stock market. Well, in the world of business, the China Media Group, in collaboration with the University of Abuja, recently convened a seminar as part of CMG's Global Media Dialogue Initiative in Abuja, tagged Enhancing China-Africa Cooperation in New Quality Productive Forces to realize high-quality growth. The seminar aimed to deepen collaboration between China and Africa and capitalize on development opportunities by aligning China's strategies with African needs. Held against the backdrop of China's annual legislative meeting in March and the upcoming Focus Summit scheduled for Beijing later in the year. Wang Yingqiu, the Minister for Economic and Commercial Affairs at the Embassy of the Republic of China in Nigeria, underscored China's transition towards high-quality development and expressed the country's willingness to collaborate with Nigeria in fostering new productive forces.
The only way we can benefit from this as Africans, as Nigerians, is to stand on the same ground and mobilize ourselves towards quality, towards productivity. There is no reason why productivity should not be at the forefront of every office, every community, every business, every industry. If this becomes our watchdog as a nation, these two that the President of China is putting forward, then we can benefit from this dialogue that we are having.
What President Xi Jinping enunciated, the Siga-Chuan-Min. The Siga-Chuan-Min in the sense that there is the need for prosperity, there is the need for deepening reform, there is the need for maintaining party discipline, and the rest of them. So there is the need also to continue carrying out perpetual reforms, such as civil service reforms, judicial reforms, economic reforms, educational reforms, healthcare reforms. Just as you know, institution of judicature is one of the major problems of Nigeria. Why? Because you lose election, but the judiciary gives you power, in their own way.
Last year, bilateral trade between our two countries reached to $22.56 billion. China import from Nigeria reached $2.386 billion, increased 49.3% compared to that of year 2022. Investment from China reached to $363 million. Three major investment projects are Free Trade Zone and industrial parks in Lekki, Ogun State, and Shagamu State areas.
We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market reports. At the close of trading on the second weekday of trading on the Nigerian Exchange Limited, it decreased further from the preceding trading day, reducing by 0.11%, with the market capitalization at 59.12 trillion naira. Now, in the aggregate, 122 NGS-listed equities participated in trading, ending with 27 gainers and 23 losers. That communications came out last with an end-of-day depreciation, closing at 0 naira 64 kobo, followed closely by computer Data Warehouse Group, that's CWG, which closed at 5 naira 50 kobo. Now, at the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, NGX, a total of 307 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 9,548 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 7 billion. Now, compared to the previous NGX trading day, that's Monday, March 18th, today's data shows 7% improvement in volume despite the low turnover, 30% decline in turnover, but 5% improvement in the deals. Well, let's take a look at our select global stock to see how they are doing on the second weekday of trading. Well, as you can see from the chart behind me, reverse is the case for our global equities, as they all maintained a northward movement on the second weekday of trading at 0.20%. That's for the UK FTSE, US Dow Jones at 0.56%, and Japan's Nikkei at 0.66%. Well, that's it on both business and stock market, Amilore. Over to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okoyemi. Now, on the global scene, it's tragic news as a bus carrying student from a prestigious university collided with a truck on a rain-soaked highway, resulting in the loss of 11 lives and leaving 42 others with serious injuries, according to police reports. The devastating accident occurred on Monday at Manugu, approximately 360 kilometers from Nairobi, as the students from Kenyatta University were en route to the coastal town of Mombasa. The collision claimed 10 lives instantly, with another victim succumbing to injuries later in the hospital. According to police findings, the university bus was attempting to overtake a line of vehicles in heavy rain when it skidded off the right side of the road. The bus, carrying a total of 58 passengers on an academic excursion, bore the brunt of the impact. Now, in response to the tragedy, Kenyatta University expressed profound sadness and announced the establishment of a help desk at the main campus to extend support. And up next on News Now is Entertainment Report.
Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Eresta has revealed her desire to be one of the leading Afrobeat artists. Speaking in a recent interview, the 21-year-old said that it is her desire for the genre to become the biggest in the world because it deserves to be. Eresta released Rush, a track of her debut album 19 and Dangerous, in September 2022. The song was nominated in the Maiden Best African Music Performance category at the 2024 Grammy Awards, but then lost to Tyler, the South African singer.
Finally, on sports, 10 Super Eagles players have made their way to camp in Morocco, gearing up for upcoming friendlies against Ghana and Mali. Expectations are high as more players are anticipated to join the camp. The Super Eagles are poised to face Ghana at the Grand Stade Marrakesh in Morocco on Friday, March 22nd. Subsequently, they will take on Mali at the same venue 4 days later. This gathering marks the first reunion for the Super Eagles since their impressive silver medal finish at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. And that's all News Now I have at this moment. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye.